Do you think surfing is cool? Okay. Do you think ninjas are cool? Very well. Then by golly, do I have the movie for you. Pow! Surf Ninjas. If you haven't seen this absolute piece of cinema, then I'm telling you now, I'm getting ready to fill a void in your heart that you didn't even know was there. If I were to take the phrase totally radical and then make that into a movie, that would be this movie. So I just want to walk you guys through this movie and show you something that I love that is goofy, ridiculous, but also awesome and amazing at the same time. We're gonna go through the highs and lows of it. So the movie's about two laid-back brothers that are the heir to the throne of a small country called Patusan. They reluctantly have to go back to free their country from an evil monarch that is trying to assassinate them. The tagline for the movie is, "Surf's up, time to save the world." This movie starts off cranked up to the max cool. And for someone like me, a little 7-year-old kid in Ohio with nothing around me but cornfields, surfing and extreme sports in general was the coolest thing that you could ever do. So obviously with this movie opening up with a surfing montage, this movie's already like a 10 out of 10 for me when I was a kid, and you couldn't tell me otherwise.
Nice job, team.
But after the montage, we actually get introduced to the main characters of the story, which are the two brothers, Johnny and Adam, and their friend Iggy. Now, once again, when I was a kid watching this, I idolized Johnny. I wanted to be just like him. I wanted to be super cool, laid back. I wanted to be like a freaking martial arts master. I wanted to have long hair. I wanted to have the glistening abs. I also wanted to be Asian. Bruh. Did I achieve any of these goals now that I've grown up? No, but I still have time on some of the things. So we get done with the cool surfing montage intro, we introduce the characters, and then bam, ninjas attack. But before the ninjas even get to the boys, out of nowhere, a guardian homeless man ninja also pops out to take out the bad ninjas. And just when you think that the coolness level couldn't get any higher, they do one of the coolest activities in cinema history.
Moto surf!
Moto surf!
Moto surfing. The movie then starts setting up like the actual storyline and the actual character development. Now the main setups they have obviously is with like the two brothers, Johnny and Adam, and then their friend Iggy. It's like either they're setting up jokes or setting up like, oh, things that's gonna happen later on in the film and completely in the end of the film. We see Iggy make the passing joke of like, what if I'm royalty to a far off nation?
What if I was adopted and my dad was a really rich king and stuff?
Oh yeah, kings are always giving the kids up for adoption.
It's such a good setup for a running joke that's gonna happen throughout the movie. Then we see the setup with Johnny needing to do a presentation for the Baba Ram of Migrab.
I was supposed to do this full-on welcoming speech for this visiting guru guy, Baba Ram, in assembly second period.
And he uses the song Barbara Ann by Beach Boys.
Ba 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 rum. Ba 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 rum.
When I saw this movie as a kid, I didn't know that that was already a song. And I was like, wait a minute, that's the song from Surf Ninjas. Did they just like steal this song and add words to it? Okay, I was a kid, don't blame me. I was a stupid little kid. I didn't know that. Okay, anyways. Then we get a little exposition from our narrator, which is also the guardian homeless man ninja guy that we haven't revealed who he is yet. And he gives us a little narration of who like the main bad guy is of the story. Enter the most absurd bad guy in cinema history. It's Leslie Nielsen, which is a half man, half robot, almost always wearing a full suit of samurai armor. Why is he wearing samurai armor, you say? I don't know, but it's absurd and absolutely ridiculous, we get back to the coolness. Another surfing montage. And that's right, bam, ninjas attack. But they get knocked out again, this time not by the Guardian Homeless Man Ninja, but actually by the surfboards themselves. These are bad assassins. I don't know if we've established this yet or if you've noticed the thing, but they are very bad assassins. Moving on. After the surfing session, the boys go back to their father's restaurant, and then we finally get the reveal of who this Guardian Homeless Man Ninja is. His name is Zatch. And what? He knows the boy's father? Oh my gosh, the plot thickens. But before we can get into any of the plot, bam, ninjas attack.
I got you, homie.
They ransack the restaurant. Everyone's fighting. The boys are cowering in the corner. Zatch, fighting them off. The boy's dad, his name's Mac, by the way. Mac's like, get the boys out of here! And Zatch takes the boys away, leaving the dad behind to fend off the bad ninjas, right? And then when the Zatch takes the boys out, he's like, okay, I need to tell you guys what's going on. And that's when he reveals, the big overarching plot of the story, which is you boys are the heir to a throne. There is a prophecy that is destined that Johnny, the older brother, is gonna be a great warrior. Hold on to that. And Adam is gonna be a great seer that will advise the warrior king. Hold on to that one as well. And Iggy is just Iggy, but Iggy thinks he's part of this great plan, destiny prophecy thing.
Because you are a crown princess, and your father was a king.
Whoa, unreal. Remember when I said before, what if my father was a king? This is completely insane. I'm a crown prince.
Not you. They are crown princess.
But the boys are like, nah, we don't care about this prophecy. We don't know what you talk about. We don't care about any of this. We don't even know what this land of Patusan is. We just want to get back to our dad that was fending off these ninjas. So the boys get back to the restaurant. They called the cops. The cops show up. They explain the situation. Of course, the cops don't believe them, that there's ninjas after them and a whole bunch of everything. And some hooligans probably just trashed the restaurant and their dad went missing, which is really weird. These are really bad cops in this movie too. They're just like, yeah, maybe your dad just ran off and he doesn't want to be with you anymore.
I think some guys are probably leaning on your old man. They came in, they tore the place up, and he split. I mean, he's probably out there chilled out somewhere taking it easy.
Like, yeah, man, your dad just probably ran off somewhere. He'll be back in the morning. Now, right when you think this movie could not get more cool, they just blew my mind as a little kid, because one of the coolest things to ever happen in this movie happens right in this scene.
Crown Prince Adam would become a true visionary.
That's weird. Where's Shinobi? I thought I was playing Shinobi.
Now, Adam doesn't really fully understand what's going on, right? He's starting to piece it together, but he doesn't realize that oh, this is the seer power. When I was 7 years old watching this, I was like, oh my gosh, I want a Sega. I want a Game Gear. I always thought, I don't know, rich kids own Sega for some reason. In my head, that was because I didn't have a Sega. I grew up on Nintendo. So anytime anyone had a Sega of any kind, doesn't matter, I'm just like, man, these people got a lot of money and I'm just a poor kid with a Nintendo. Anyway, so Adam starts kind of piecing things together that his game is seeing the future, and we're starting to get a little bit of character development, a little exposition, a little, of what's going on. And you guessed it, as soon as we start getting a little bit of exposition or a little bit of character development, bam, ninjas attack. But before the fighting takes place, Zatch shows up, gets the boys, gets them out of the house, and then blows up the entire house, presumably with all the bad ninjas in it, which leaves them with nowhere to go but, you guessed it, Patusan. So now, the boys are forced to go onto their destined path. But before they can go like straight to Patusan, they gotta stop at Little Patusan, which is kind of like our equivalent to like Chinatown in New York, where it's like a little community of that specific Asian culture in the middle of the city. So they go to this Patusani restaurant. Turns out the restaurant owner knows Johnny and his family, and guess what? Uh-oh, Johnny's set up in an arranged marriage. This is Romay. She is going to join the crew to help save Patusan. And also, she doesn't really want to be in this arranged marriage, but she also kind of likes Johnny, so it's kind of like, will they, won't they situation, you know? Kind of like love and all that. But right before we get, too much character development, you guessed it, once again, boom, ninjas attack. And we just saw Adam get his like latent abilities of being a seer and all that with his Sega Game Gear. Now it's Johnny's turn.
And he will become an even greater warrior than his father.
Boom, he out of nowhere just starts going, starts kicking butt, right? This, I'm like, I wanted that. I want that ability. I just want to be able to be like, kicking butt nonstop. Didn't happen.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
So up until now, Johnny, we saw him. He'd be cowering in a corner, stuff like that. But it's almost like his powers take control of him, and his body's just moving on its own. Gotcha, gotcha. Also during this time, Iggy thinks his powers are awakening, and he's controlling the whole fight with his mind.
But if I could actually control the outcome of this fight. I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Which, the more I think about it, it's like anything Iggy said did come true. So I'm starting to believe that Iggy does have powers.
What's he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
But after defeating the ninjas, the crew then stows away on a ship to go to Patusan. But as they're stowing away on the ship, Lieutenant Spence, he gets on board as well, and he's like, hey, I believe you guys. I didn't believe you at first, but now I believe you. There's ninjas everywhere. Your dad's probably missing. I want to join you. Plus, I need a vacation. So he's part of the crew now. So we finally make it to Patusan, and the crew has to trek through the countryside, fulfilling little pieces of the prophecy, like, for example, getting the knives of Patusan, which provides, I believe, one of the funniest moments in the movie. Every time I see this clip or watch this movie, this is the one that gets me. Like I'm rolling laughing every time I see it.
What are you looking forward to most about this film?
Well, I think I'm looking forward to cracking up. I hope I can totally crack up. So I haven't totally cracked up in a long time.
4,000 years of warrior blood, spirit, and energy are held in these weapons. That spirit now will enter you. Stand and defend yourself. Not you, him.
So after the knives, the crew runs into one of Colonel Chi's military convoys. They have villagers in prison. So the crew saves the prisoners. Also, Adam gets to fulfill one of his lifelong dreams of driving a car and committing vehicular manslaughter.
Anyone need a ride?
Stop it. Get some help.
After saving the prisoners, we get a little montage dance break through the town while we prepare for the revolution and the rebellion of the evil monarch. Do you think all the French people during the revolution on their way to chop off King Louis's head, do you think they were dancing through the streets like this? Maybe, who knows? If you haven't noticed yet, the third act of this movie goes at a breakneck speed. We kind of just get to the island, you gotta go through some things, boom, we're here, we're getting ready to go to the main battle. Could it have been paced a little better and explained a little bit? Who cares? We're trying to get to the action. Also, if you've noticed, we haven't done any surfing in a while. We're about to change that. We're gonna deforest an entire island so that way every villager that is helping with the rebellion gets a surfboard because they need to make it to the final island where Colonel Chi is. So let's cut down all these trees, make them into surfboards, and do one final surfing montage. And with this surfing montage comes a song that can only be described as your uncle used to be in a band and he's a chain smoker and now he wants to relive his glory days, so he's gonna sing one of his songs for you at a family event.
Still the hunger burns inside of me. Now on, you'll know where to find me from now on.
So after the song by our chain-smoking uncle, the attack on the fortress begins and chaos ensues. They are literally throwing grenades and blowing people up and fighting in the streets. And then, oh no, Zatch gets shot by Colonel Chi. And then we have a loving moment between Zatch and the boys. And they're like, oh no, Zatch. Turns out Zatch is the boy's uncle. What? Oh my gosh. Then we get a little backstory of all that. And a little side note, Zatch and Johnny are actual father and son in real life. Pretty cool. Where was I? Oh yeah. Colonel Chi shoots Zatch. Also, Colonel Chi wearing a full suit of samurai armor, also driving a Suzuki Samurai. Ridiculous? I love it. Keep it coming. We finally come to the final showdown between Colonel Chi and Johnny and Adam by proxy, because Adam's using his Game Gear to do some control things control things with his Game Gear, right? He's electrocuting Colonel Chi with his game. Johnny's doing a little karate action, and they end up pushing him into the water. Boom, kaput by Colonel Chi. He electrocutes himself to death because he's a half robot, half man. Boom, that was done. Now, did the final fight with Colonel Chi last like 2 seconds? Yes. Is Leslie Nielsen a really old man and you probably don't want to put him in like some weird crazy fighting scene with like a young guy that he could possibly get hurt? Also yes. So let's just shove him into a swimming pool. And with the main villain defeated, it's time to celebrate. We get all the villagers together, all the dead ninjas are cleaned off the street, and Johnny and Adam are getting ready to be presented to the town like, hey, here's your heirs to the throne and saviors of the country. Let us introduce you to our spiritual holy man, the Baba Ram of Migrab. That's right, boom, full circle, Baba Ram of Migrab from high school that he sang Barbara Ann by the Beach Boys to, but did a little twist on it. He's now here, boom, full circle, setup, payoff. It was pretty cool. You know, I thought it was cool when I was a kid. As an adult, I'm just like, they probably didn't need this. But as a kid, I was like, oh my gosh, it's the Baba Ram of Migrab. So Johnny and Adam take the throne as the rightful heirs to the kingdom. And immediately with their first decree, Johnny dissolves the monarchy and then gives the kingdom back to its people.
Because you're destined to be free.
And then we immediately cut from that to all the cast singing Barbara Ann by the Beach Boys together, credits roll. And I'm sure you're probably like, wait a minute, what? Wait, he just gives the monarchy back? He just dissolves the monarchy, gives the kingdom back to its people? What's going on? Is this really how we're gonna end it? Yes, it is. Don't need to explain, you know, like the complication of politics or how to run a country. Don't worry about that. We're singing Barbara Ann by the Beach Boys, baby. That's how we're gonna end it. Kids aren't gonna understand politics, which I'm glad they didn't try to do anything like that because I wouldn't understand when I was a little kid. So I'm glad they ended it on a fun song because then I could be like, and that's what I did when I was a kid. That was my dance.